I'd like to thank the management of KPDA for helping to host this event as well. Just a bit about Tilisi. Tilisi and ALP. I think it's a wonderful thing that what Tilisi is putting up over here. It's like they say, it's a new city within a city, or we can call it a village within a city. But it's a modern village, and great job from what we see. And let's hope that we can get this success, and we'd like you all to be part of this success. And yes, thank you very much, and thanks once again, Tilisi.
As you all know, we sell fully serviced land parcels in this master plan development in the various uses. Our vision is to make Tilisi a sustainable city which operates for generations to come. We will be operational soon. This is what we anticipate it'll look like. ALP's first warehouses will be operational in October. Tilisi View's first residents will be living in Tilisi in October 2021. We anticipate to be fully operational at Tilisi by 2032. That means every parcel will be sold, every parcel will be fully developed, and people will be living and working at Tilisi.
Late last year, in October, we kickstarted Tilisi Views. So these are 186 3, 4, and 5-bedroom villas, ranging from 19 million going up to 65 million. The first phase started in October, and we hope to start the second phase later in the year. We have 20 to 25 meter road reserves, 9 meter carriageways, which include 2 cycle lanes, a 2.4 meter wide footpath, stormwater drainage, and 8 boreholes connected to every single plot. We have 5 sewer treatment plants. Again, every single plot is connected to sewer. And we have underground power reticulation. We have ICT, ducting, landscaping, security, perimeter, and internal fencing, what you see here, the clear view, and street lighting. It's a great area for logistics if somebody wants to come up and set up their own business. And we're ready for that. We have 20 acres for that. For the residential, there are developments going on right now, but nothing between the 8 million and 20 million shilling mark. So there is opportunities for the lower density housing. And we do have 30 acres for high density apartments, and we all know that that's a very big pie, and there's lots of opportunities in that at the moment. In addition to that, we feel our site is really ripe for schools, and we are literally half an hour from any prime area in Nairobi, and it will make a great location for a school. By the end of it, we're going to have about 5,000 homes, a population of about 30,000 people living and working in Tilisi. So with that, there are going to be lots of other opportunities. There's going to be a great opportunity for a neighborhood retail or convenience store, convenience shopping center. Obviously, with 30,000 people, we will need a hospital. There will be need for offices, recreational, and also possibly a boutique hotel with conference facilities.
So what are the main challenges that are faced by developers and investors when it comes to land purchase? And how does that strategy change between the purchase of a non-managed development site and a managed development sites?
When you're buying standalone land where you have individual title, the thing around that land is that you will find you need to do very detailed due diligence, because the seller a lot of times hasn't had the opportunity to even confirm that indeed the title is right, to confirm whether they are within public utility land, in terms of boundaries. They may not have checked to see what way leaves exist or easements exist within their land. Now, if you contrast that with a master planned development, it takes very long. I think it's Rane who said it's taken 2 years to get all the approvals and all the master plan right. The thing around that is for a master plan development, if it is done right, then all of that will be done ahead of time for a buyer.
So I think maybe financially it probably isn't very different, but I think the time is the huge factor.
So we've heard about how developers look when they're acquiring land, but actually more importantly is actually how do the clients of the developers, how do they look at a master planned development?
It's a bit like chalk and cheese when you compare a planned mixed-use development like Tilisi or Tatu versus buying a standalone piece of land like we've done in Athi River. And one of the things is that, you know, you're married to the local council there, so you can never give your customer a truthful answer on whether they're going to get reliable water, whether the road out there is ever going to be done. And, you know, nobody has a clue. But if you bought, for example, our plot in Tatu comes with a guaranteed certainty that you've got terminated services, bike path around it, everything you see here. It takes away a whole load of pain.
The history of ALP. The two sites that you have purchased in around Nairobi are both in master plan development. So what was the reasoning behind that?
For me, it's about risk management. I think if you're a startup and you're new to the country, what you want is certainty of title, and you want certainty of all the other things that comes with it in terms of utilities and the ability to start. That's very important when you're raising money, but it's also very important from development fundamentals. Here at Tilisi, we had the added advantage above and beyond a normal master plan developer in that we were early adopters, so you got to work with the master plan developer with Brandon Cabot in terms of the infrastructure, so you got additional certainty and reassurance about its quality. So those things combined made for a very compelling argument for what we want to do. We could get on concentrating on what we do well, which is to build good warehouses rather than try and do master plans. So it's about focusing on what you're good at.
ALP's reason for existence is to invest and raise the level of logistics and distribution centres in Kenya and throughout East Africa. We think that this market is absolutely ready for modern Class A warehouses which work in all sorts of markets throughout the world. We've only just started at Tilisi, so we expect to invest in at least another $50 million here, depending on what type of buildings we build and for who we build them, but certainly investment of that order. Well, North was our first project. The site there was, the infrastructure was in place. Here we had to work a little bit with Tilisi to make sure the infrastructure was in place. So we started there before we moved on to here. At North, the buildings are physically complete. The development is 100% complete, and we've signed leases on 75% of the space there, and we're already talking to parties about the rest of it. So our emphasis in terms of taking the business forward is now very much trying to duplicate that success here out west. People are beginning to perceive that they should move from the old go-down type products that you see on Mombasa Road to modern warehousing, A, to drive down their cost of storage, and B, to much improve that part of their supply chain. So ALP's commitment is that we will build those buildings what we call speculatively. So we won't wait for somebody to say they will sign a lease before we start the building. We build the buildings, and we're happy to take that risk of building them and wait, and therefore the buildings are ready when people come along and want to take those buildings. So they can then sign a lease and start their operations very quickly. We also offer a service to people where we say we'll do build-to-suit buildings. So if somebody has a very specific building that they want to hold for a long time, but they don't want to lock up endless amounts of capital expenditure in that building, we will build that building for them, and then we will lease it back to them over the lifetime of that building so that they can use the money that they would otherwise have put into that building to finance marketing or training or their working stock. Those are things that are more important to drive their business rather than having things tied up in a building. So that's our build-to-suit offering. We also look at joint ventures if people want to do a joint venture and they want to maintain an interest in the underlying value of the land. As a developer, I'm not really interested in the underlying value of the land. I'm just trying to get a deal from the investment in the property. So if someone wants to do a joint venture that's structured where they hold the value of the land and we just lease the building, then we'll do that. So we're very flexible in terms of the investment deals that we'll do for people on a bespoke basis, as well as just doing the standard leases on our speculative warehouses.